Hello, everyone. I'm that one nerd, Jacob.
And I'm that one scout, Colin.
And welcome back to Those Nerds on a Podcast, where today we're tier listing GameCube games. But before we start, let us yap to you. That's right. I'm stealing me and Summer's thing. Fuck us.
Okay.
I am not mentally well. You want to know why?
Why?
The Arlington Renegades are 0-3.
Damn.
So, you remember last year how the team that's behind can try again in the fourth quarter as long as they're behind for a 4th and 20, right?
Yeah.
That's the shit that happened. DC wound up getting a first down on 4th and 20. Then they got another first down that put them into field goal range, and they were down by 2. So they were able to hit the field goal and win the game 29-28. Arlington has not won a single game yet. We are frauds.
Oh, no.
Anything you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah. I had a rough, the reason why we're recording so late, if you can't tell, ladies, I had a rough night last night. I just could not sleep for the life of me.
Yeah, I texted Charity because I know sometimes you get so busy with stuff that you forget to check your phone. So I'm like, okay, it's been like 10, 15 minutes. And let me see if Charity knows what's up. She's like, oh, yeah, he just woke up. Yeah. All right, well, without further ado, let's get this motherfucking tier list going. So, the tiers, as always, we've got the greatest of all time. You should play these now. Solid games, would recommend, not for everyone. Bold and brash, more like belongs in the trash. And then haven't played / seen for games that we either haven't played or seen gameplay of, or just not enough of either to really form an opinion.
You know, I started off on the GameCube and the PlayStation 2. This is actually right up my alley.
See, I didn't start off on the GameCube. First console for me was the Genesis and the 64, but the GameCube is by far one of my most just favorite consoles. Probably the top console.
The discs were tiny. I loved it.
But yeah, for me, favorite console of all time. So, starting off, which I don't know why it's separated from the rest of them, because the rest of them are grouped up, but this one just got kicked out on its own. Mario Party 5!
You should play this.
Yeah, dude, it is definitely one of just the more solid Mario Party games of all time.
My first Mario Party, actually.
I forget which one was my first. I know it was one of them on the GameCube, but 4 and 5 kind of meld together for me. 6 stands out, and then I don't even remember 7 being on the GameCube. Since we're on the topic of it, let's just skip around. Mario Party 4.
I don't think I've ever played Mario Party 4.
I'll put it right below Mario Party 5. It's Mario Party. I think up until Mario Party 8, I want to say, all the games are at least really solid. So
I'm of the opinion that the Mario Party game that you get on the Wii U actually kind of redeems the Wii U, because you get to play as Bowser on the tablet.
Yeah, but the car.
What car?
Oh, you don't know, so you haven't actually fully played it, because on 9 and 10, which were the Wii U releases, or is it 10 and 11? Either way, you don't get to play as an individual player. Everyone just drives a car. The same car.
I remember that.
That is ass.
It is ass. That was a poor concept.
Anyway, Mario Party 6, I'm putting I would say greatest of all time. It is my favorite Mario Party ever.
Okay.
All right. The day and night cycle makes for some fun additions to each board. The boards themselves, very diverse. You have a very nice selection. Well-rounded minigame pool. It's my favorite Mario Party. I don't know what to say. Do you have anything to say about it?
No.
Fair. All right, and then the last one, which again I don't even remember being on the GameCube, Mario Party 7, which I personally have not played.
I played it. It was all right.
What would you rank it as? What?
Mid. Mario Party.
So solid games would recommend, not for everyone.
Yeah,
What?
solid
Okay,
game.
okay. You were being very vague. I'm just like, what the hell?
I can't see the tier list. Don't forget.
Fair enough. All right. Now let's go ahead and just go back in order of the list. Animal Crossing, the OG.
The OG? Oh, you should play this now.
You should play this now. I would put it above Mario Parties because Mario Party is definitely fun, but it's not a game that you would have at the top of any of the tiers. I remember downloading an Animal Crossing ROM and emulating it. I had a good time with it. This was also back whenever I was really big into Animal Crossing whenever it first came out on the Switch.
Nintendo, he emulated Smash his balls.
But no, it was really solid. I feel like the pace in the early game goes a lot slower than some of the other Animal Crossing games, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Animal Crossing is definitely one of those games that you just kind of chill, relax, and play. Like, you're not playing it because you're wanting a whole lot to happen at the same time. You're wanting to play it because you want to wind down.
It is the game if you have an introverted autistic girlfriend.
Ah, yes. I can confirm. All right. WWE Day of Reckoning.
I actually never played it.
All right. I thought about it as I was downloading them. I'm not going to put it at greatest of all time, but in terms of WWE games, this one might be the greatest of all time. Story mode was fun. Character creation was amazing. The gameplay was fluid. I mean, you can't really beat it in terms of other gameplay from the other WWE games. All right. If you haven't played Day of Reckoning 1, how about Day of Reckoning 2?
I haven't played Day of Reckoning 2
either. Yeah, me neither.
Put it in the pile.
I genuinely didn't know this was a thing until I was downloading the box arts for this tier list.
Somebody's gonna be seething for the second.
Well, okay, the thing is, like, I'm pretty sure the second one's great, but we had Day of Reckoning 1 on the GameCube, and this was also before my parents would let us buy our own games. We'd tell them what we were interested in, and then they go out and get it. So they probably saw that, and they're like, it's not too much different. We'll just let them stick with this. All right, F-Zero GX.
Never played any of the F-Zero games.
Oh, damn, I was hoping you would have had some input on it, because I know we're going to get flamed in the comments for it.
How dare you not play the Captain Falcon game?
I played the one on the Super Nintendo. Does that count?
That actually does count, yes.
Yeah.
I played the demo for F-Zero on the Smash Wii version. Because remember, the Wii U would have all the different demos and then be like, hey, you want these full games? It's on the Nintendo store.
That's fair.
And then I would get like... that's most of my experience with the Ocarina of Time. Is that Wii demo, because I would just play the Wii demo.
That's how I first got to experience Ocarina of Time, was the demo that was in Smash Brawl.
Yeah, I can just zoom through that fucking thing now.
Yeah. All right. These next two are definitely going to be your thing. So we've got Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life.
Okay. Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life is solid. Would really recommend. It's missing a key feature though.
Which is?
I'll get into it when the other Harvest Moon comes up.
Okay, this one, I can't read it very well. I know it's Harvest Moon Medley something.
Magical Medley.
Yes, that's the one.
Greatest Harvest Moon game of all time.
So I'm assuming you want to... Do you want to put it in greatest of all time, or just you should play this now?
Well, it's in my greatest of all time. Like, if you handed me Harvest Moon Magical Melody and a GameCube, you would not see me for days.
I mean, if you want to put it greatest of all time, again, I know I haven't played the Harvest Moon games, so this one's all you. Like, you can put it wherever you want.
Okay. So, Yeah, greatest of all time.
Okay.
So, It's a Wonderful Life is great in the fact of it's a lot like Stardew Valley,
Hmm.
where where it's a sandbox and you build your little life, but it doesn't really give you a goal and it doesn't really reward you the same way that Magical Melody does.
Oh, okay.
Because when you get the achievements in the game, that's it. That's the achievement. But at the beginning of Harvest Moon Magical Melody, there's a goddess and she like blesses the town and she turns to stone because people stop believing in her and whatnot.
Oh, damn.
When you get achievements in the game, you get closer and closer to this is where the magical melody thing comes in. Every achievement is an instrument, and if you can collect all of the instruments, you do a musical ritual that brings the goddess back to life, and she'll bless the town for another 100 years.
Oh.
So there's an incentive to complete the game and do all of the challenges that there just isn't in It's a Wonderful Life. Also, if one of your animals gets sick for too long, you get a nightmare scene where your animal fucking dies.
Jesus.
And the guy in charge of taking care of the sick animals literally looks at you like, and then he goes, and then you wake up as you're standing over the grave of a dead animal.
That is wild.
Oh yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Next up, Mario Kart Double Dash.
I fucking loved playing Mario Kart Double Dash with Tristan. It was amazing.
I still want them to put a Double Dash mode in the next Mario Kart. I'm saying, because I put Harvest Moon above Mario Party, because again, Mario Party, it's very, you need to have friends to enjoy it, but Mario Kart, I would put at the very top.
Yes.
Yes.
If I recall, there was a Double Dash mode where one of you could be the driver and the other one could like hold the items and aim and shit.
No, that's just straight up how Double Dash is. Like that's the core gameplay.
Yes. So I really wish that they would add that mode to Mario Kart 8 as a DLC. I would buy that instantly.
I mean, I would buy it too. More realistically, though, I think if they were to add it to Mario Kart, it would be Mario Kart 9.
Yes.
Like, I think now that they've done the whole booster course DLC, that they're pretty much done with Mario Kart 8. This is literally Mario Kart 8 at its fullest. So, I don't see them adding it, but it would be cool.
It was really great because it means that I could drive, and Tristan, who was just a tad too young to figure out what the fuck left and right means, could just aim shells at people.
That's fair.
Didn't they also have the thing where like each individual team had their own individual items?
Yeah, so Mario and Luigi had like a fire flower. The princesses had a flower, something.
I remember Wario and Luigi having fucking bombs, and I thought that was the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, Bowser and Bowser Jr. have just a giant spike shell that covers pretty much the entire width of any track. It was such a fun concept, and I really hope that they can bring it back. All right, Mario Power Tennis.
Oh, I remember playing a little bit of that, but I don't remember much.
I'm gonna put it at the bottom of you should play these now. For a sports game, it is very fun, but I can't put it any higher than the bottom, purely because it's a sports game at the end of the day. Unless, again, you're playing with friends, it's gonna get very boring as time goes on. So, again, you should play these now. Everyone should play it at least once, but after you've played through it, you might get a little bored with it unless you're playing with friends. All right, we got Mario Baseball. I haven't played this one.
I don't think I played this one either.
Damn it! All right. Anyway, next, Medal of Honor.
Never played it.
So I will say not for everyone. I didn't own it, but a friend did. We only played the multiplayer. It's essentially worse Call of Duty.
Like that's where I think Call of Duty comes from the Medal of Honor series.
I thought they were both entirely separate series.
Oh, let me look it up. I think Call of Duty at first was a branch. Does Call of Duty come from Medal of Honor?
Well, what you finding there, Mr. Research Boy?
Okay, so the reason why is because literally 21 of the people who were in the original 2003 Call of Duty's production team were all in Medal of Honor. That's where that comes from.
Gotcha. Yeah, like I said, I only played the multiplayer, so I couldn't tell you what the campaign is like, but the shooting just felt bad. And granted, this is on the GameCube, so that might be part of the reason why it felt bad. But the shooting felt bad, and the maps were all just very, like, dull, barren. There were a couple of crates to hide behind, but that's
So it was a Halo map.
Early Halo.
I'm just yanking your chain.
But yeah, like, again, it's not for everyone, but if you're just really big into first-person shooters, then, I mean, you'll probably enjoy it. All right, Metroid Prime.
I never played Prime. I only played the original Metroid.
Oh my god, you should play this now. I'll put it above WWE Day of Reckoning. This was... I got Metroid Prime very shortly after, which I know Prime came out way before this, but after I finished playing Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition.
So you saw space alien shooter, me play.
See, like, I knew about Metroid beforehand. I knew about the Metroid and Super Metroid games. So I knew about the side scrollers, and I knew about Samus as a character, but I was just kind of looking at the back of the box to see what it was like, and it kind of put me in the mind of Halo. Now, don't get me wrong. Halo and Metroid Prime, while similar in many aspects, are also very different, and I think that's why I fell in love with the game. It's just so much fun to play through. I'm gonna say diverse a lot whenever I talk about some of the GameCube games, but the different stages were very diverse. The areas were fun to explore. The enemies weren't impossible to kill, but they weren't easy either. Like, it was perfect middle of the road difficulty for an average Nintendo fan, which would probably be a child. But yeah, it was so fun. And low key, I really want them to re-release it for the Switch, unless they have already, and I'm just stupid. I might be stupid, actually. Hang on. I'm gonna search Metroid Prime Switch. Holy fuck, it's on Switch.
Huh? I know what one of your solos be about.
Yeah, dude. I think I know. But yeah. So you should definitely play Metroid Prime, even if you're not a fan of first-person shooters, because this is most akin to a first-person shooter. It feels different enough to where you will enjoy it.
Okay.
Metroid Prime 2, I have not played.
I never played it either, but still. They're just raving reviews for Metroid Prime. Never played the second.
So here's the reason I never played the second. One, I would have to download a ROM because I have no way of attaining it now. Two, I got Metroid Prime pretty much right at the end of the GameCube in GameStop's lifespan. Like, I want to say half a year later is whenever they stopped carrying GameCube games, and they only ever had, like, new console games, which at that point would have been, I think the Wii was still kicking, and then 360 and PlayStation 3. So PS2 games, gone. Xbox games, gone. GameCube games, gone. It was legit only new consoles from that point onward. So I never got to actually buy it, but I'd imagine it's fun. I hear a lot of people say that Metroid Prime 2 is better than 1. So if that's the case, I want to play it.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Metroid Prime 2 is on this one.
Yeah, I that's why I said I think I remember them remaking 1. I had to make sure before I'm like, oh, well, it does or it doesn't exist. But, oh, man. All right.
Dude, it's $60 on fucking, wow. It's $60 on eBay.
Honestly, here's the thing. Going into a side tangent. Actually, you know what? Oh, wait, no, we said we don't do nerd outs during tier lists. Okay.
Fucking do it.
Fucking do it? All right. Listen, I am nerding out. All right, here's the deal. I don't mind paying up to $60 for an older game. I forgot to set a timer. Hold up.
I got you.
All right. Timer's going. I don't mind paying up to $60 for an old game. I feel like $60 is the standard for video games. Now, I say old game, but I mean like PS2, GameCube, and original Xbox era. Anything before that, if you're charging up to $60, you're a dick. Okay? But if I'm buying a GameCube game and I can find it for $60, well, I mean, I don't have the money to just outright do that as of right now, but if I had the money, I would say that that is worth the money. You know, GameCube games, for the most part, do still hold up. What I hate is going and seeing these places that sell them $150 a piece.
Yeah.
That is how you gatekeep gaming. Like, imagine you with Leon, right? Let's say like 5-6 years down the road, you want to have him experience the games that you grew up playing. And obviously you don't want to have to teach him how to use keyboard and mouse through an emulator. You want to have the original shit. That's now making it, unless they remake that for newer consoles, almost impossible to obtain. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have the money to drop $150, $200 on games that I played during my childhood. Do I miss those games? Yes. I wish that I'd never sold old games in my life. Like, now, I would say from Xbox One onward, selling old games, not the biggest deal, because 90% of them either make their way over to Game Pass, or they were games that nobody really cared about to begin with. But again, now if I want to play an old DS game, if I want to play a GameCube game, if I even want to play a Wii game, some people raise the prices up of Wii games now that it's almost a 20-year-old console, I have to shell out that money. And this is why I always say, if I have a legal way to attain something, gaming-wise, of course, I'm not going to say I'm going to rob the store for some fucking steak, but for video games, if I have a way to pay for the game, I will gladly do it. That's why I always say, like Nintendo, add GameCube to Nintendo Switch Online, and you have a fuck ton of people that would pay up to $100 a year just because you're adding GameCube. Or put the games back on the eShop individually. I would pay per game, again, as long as it's reasonably priced, from the eShop, meaning I won't even own the game physically. I won't own the game physically, but if you give me the resources to actually buy the game, then yeah. And people say, oh, well, that's why resale shops exist. Nintendo doesn't get any of those sales. They don't get any of the sales that a reseller makes. That's another reason why so many people, including myself, justify emulating so hard. Again, give us an actual way to pay for the games. And I would say a solid 80% of people would actually do it. I can't speak for everyone, but I feel like 80%, 75% at the lowest, is a pretty good generalization of who would willingly pay for these games if they came over to newer hardware. Not even as a remake or a remaster, just straight up ported over from an older console. And like, look at Mario 3D All-Stars. Sure, it didn't sell like they were expecting because they had it as a, limited time thing, and that kind of turned people off to the idea. But guess what? I bought it. And now I don't have to worry about finding a way to play Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, or Mario Galaxy. I have a way that I was able to attain them directly from Nintendo.
And you almost got all the stars your last run.
Fuck you. But yeah, no, that's all I'm saying is I don't mind paying for old games as long as they are reasonably priced. And again, I don't mind not emulating games if I have a way to actually buy said games. All right, that's my nerd out. I had 30 seconds to spare, but that's probably also the time I had on the timer.
I was looking at the going rate because I got a little curious, and I wanted to see how much a basic how much a basic game could cost. So
Yeah.
So right now there is a Violet, the original Violet.
Yeah.
With all the cables.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 controllers and a 59 block memory card.
Which is a lot for GameCube.
It's $130.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying the consoles themselves are expensive. Back before the accident happened and I had to wind up reselling it, I was able to get a GameCube bundled with 1 controller, all the original wires, and Sonic Riders for $150.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a pretty fair deal. I wish I, didn't cut my foot open and I didn't have to sell it, but, Sonic Riders isn't really a sought-after game by most people, so of course, throw it in a bundle. Someone's gonna buy it.
Eventually, yes.
Anyway, back to the tier list. Alright, Pac-Man Versus.
Oh, is that the one where you're both on different courses and you're trying to like beat the other guy? Or is it the one where... Hold on.
You were close with the first description, a little bit off, but
hold on. I played a shit ton of Pac-Man games when I was little that they start to kind of mold together. Pac-Man, terrible news. Okay, Pac-Man versus. No, that's that's Pac-Man World. Okay. So yeah, I remember this was the GameCube Player's Choice. It was Pac-Man Versus and Pac-Man World 2 bundle. I remember this. We had this shit.
I had it as well. So for anyone that doesn't know what Pac-Man Versus is, Pac-Man Versus utilized the Game Boy adapter cable that plugs into the GameCube. So that way, player 1 was Pac-Man, and then the 3 players with their Game Boys got to see the entire board while Pac-Man was zoomed in, and they had to kill Pac-Man, essentially.
Yeah, I remember this. We couldn't play Pac-Man Versus too well because we didn't have Game Boys.
Yeah,
but
that's
I remember this.
So I will say I want to put it at bottom of solid games just because of the caveat that you do have to have 3 Game Boys and Game Boy adapter cables to play it.
I saw a TikTok one time where a dude played this game with Game Boy Advance and figured out a way to jerry rig it.
Nice. But yeah, what says you? I say bottom of solid game would recommend.
Solid game would recommend.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, if you have the hardware to play this game, it is such a fun party game. Every time friends would stay the night at our house, or whenever we would stay the night at another friend's house and bring our GameCube, we'd play this for at least a solid half an hour, making sure everyone had a turn to be Pac-Man and everyone had a turn to be a ghost. So...
such a good way to pass time.
It really is. It is such a fun game. Now, going from Pac-Man versus Pac-Man World 2.
Greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time.
I remember this. And the reason I remember this is because of the trauma that happened afterwards. But
oh, hang on, before you tell the trauma, above or below Harvest Moon? Because I'm thinking above, but if you want to say below, I'm fine.
Above.
Okay, what's the trauma?
I stayed up for 3 days and 3 nights playing this.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The trauma was I slept and the dreams I had were the most terrible nightmares I've ever had in my entire life.
Oh my god.
Because you have all these scary things trying to get you in Pac-Man world. Well, they kept getting me in my nightmares. I was being chased by the villains of Pac-Man World 2, and it terrified me.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. But yeah, I'm glad you feel the same way about Pac-Man World 2. I bought Pac-Man World Repack, which is Pac-Man World 1. I played through it for a couple of hours. I didn't get too far, but man, is it so much fun to relive that. I think, though, I would still say Pac-Man World 2 is better because that one's more actually like 3D platformer, whereas Pac-Man World 1, 2D platformer with a few 3D aspects, you know?
Yes.
All right, Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door.
I played a Paper Mario game on the Nintendo GameCube. I don't know if that was the one though.
This was the only one that released on there.
Then I played that one. Solid game.
Okay, I have never played it in my life, and I want to play it once the remake comes out, but again, money. Where do you want to put it in solid game? Below everything, above Pac-Man versus above Mario Party 7, or above Harvest Moon?
Below everything.
Below everything. All right. Pikmin.
What?
Pikmin.
Oh, I never played Pikmin.
Me neither, so I guess you haven't played Pikmin 2 either.
No.
All right. Next up, Pokemon Channel.
I've never heard of that game.
All right, I'm gonna say bold and brash more like belongs in the trash.
Oh my god.
I have not played this, but you want to know all this game was, Caleb?
Yeah.
It's the early days of Pokemon Home, essentially.
Ah.
Plus, it has a few shorts. That being said, there is no game to be played here. Like, whenever you look at the box art, it looks like it's gonna be a Hey You Pikachu sequel.
Ah.
And that makes it exciting. And then you get in, it's like, oh, do you want to access the boxes? Oh, do you want to watch some of these shorts? And that's it. There is no game.
$20 for that in back in 2003? Are you fucking kidding me?
There is no game. Take off your clothes.
Are you fucking... Why is it selling for $300 on eBay?
Because now it is a collector's item. This game did not get heavily distributed just because they knew not many people were going to care about it. So it does have a rarity factor to it that some collectors seek after, but I myself eventually want to get a video game collection. I only want to collect games that I know I would be able to sit down and play for a day, at the very least. I would not want to put games that are not games in there.
Well, let me just... Okay, if in 2003, and I purchased for this game for $20, that's the equivalent of paying $33.95 in the year of our Lord 2024 for Pokemon Home.
Yeah.
And some fucking short.
Yeah. I mean, granted, Pokemon Home, you can pay for premium, but it's a free service now for the most part. Like, if you just really want to have, like, 300 fucking boxes, go wild, sign up for a year's worth of Pokemon Home, but you don't have to pay for it. Whereas with this, you had to pay for it. I would get it if this was bundled in with one of the next two games we're about to talk about, but as a standalone title,
It came in its own box.
Yeah.
Its own box.
Yeah. Anyway, next up, Pokemon Coliseum.
You should play this now.
I'm putting it at the top. I would say greatest of all time, but I'm saving one of my automatic rankings for the next one. So, Pokemon Coliseum. This is the first fully fledged out 3D Pokemon game that has a plot. So, it's not like your traditional Pokemon game. There's no gyms or anything like that. But the plot is you have a thing called the snag machine, which can be used to capture shadow Pokemon, and you're trying to purify shadow Pokemon. This was also how you got a few exclusive Pokemon in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald back in the day as well. And it's just so fun. It's just so fun. Like, if you've not played Pokemon Coliseum, you need to play it. But I'm automatically ranking this next one at the very top of greatest of all time. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Oh, you thought Pokemon Coliseum was good? How about they make it 10 times fucking better? By pretty much not even changing the story, but it's somehow better. I don't get how it's better. I think it's better because it has a way darker tone than most Pokemon games have.
Oh, yes. The edgy Pokemon game.
Like, I'm not going to say it's edgy, but the storyline is a lot darker in Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness than what most normal fans would probably think of whenever they're thinking of Pokemon games. Like, exclusive stuff that you could get in the Gen 3 games aside, this game, like, I have been begging, and I mean begging, for Nintendo to re-release Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness or make a sequel to them on the Switch. And I still want to see it happen. Again, I would play Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness for hours. Legit, if you go back to my first YouTube channel, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is the first game I ever played on YouTube.
Did they ever explain where the shadow Pokemon came from?
I think they did in Coliseum. I think it was some kind of mutation experiments by Team Cypher to make Pokemon stronger. I think that's what the lore is. I could be wrong, and they might not have explained it at all. But, like I said, I agree with Caleb. You should play Coliseum now. XD Gale of Darkness, greatest of all time. I would legit put it in top 5 if you're including Pokemon spin-off games. Top 5 Pokemon games of all time. I'm not even fucking exaggerating right now. Do yourself a favor.
Play Gale of Darkness.
Do yourself a favor and play Gale of Darkness. Honestly, me and Summer are having a movie night. I might pull the laptop into the living room, download an emulator real quick, just so I can play Gale of Darkness while we're watching a movie. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. All right. Rayman 3.
Never played it.
Me neither. Resident Evil 4, specifically for the GameCube.
Never played it.
All right, I'm gonna put it above Mario Party 7 in solid game. I think I remember, though, since it's the GameCube version, it runs a lot slower, and I think the campaign is broken up into 2 discs. So it definitely suffers from that underpowered Nintendo console, but at the end of the day, it's still Resident Evil 4. It's still a solid game. It's still going to be a good time.
Underpowered Nintendo console? What?
What? Nintendo currently having a console that's on par with the later PS3 games? No way! All right. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Can you see all me?
Walk into my mystery, step up inside and hold up for dear life.
Greatest of all time.
Okay, where do you want to put it? I agree, this is a greatest of all time game. Do you want to put it below everything, above Mario Party, above Harvest Moon, above Pac-Man World 2, above Mario Kart, or top of everything?
I kind of want to be selfish, put it on the top of everything.
You know what? I'll let you have it.
He's got a goddamn motorcycle. He doesn't even need it. He's got a gun. He beat the shit out of Sonic the first time they met with his fists, and now they gave that guy a gun. Why is Rouge the Bat trying to fuck up the entire plot? Who cares? Shoot these robots.
You're sick of shooting robots? How about you shoot these literal demons from hell?
Yeah.
This game, I don't give a shit what anybody else says about it. Like, oh, it's trying too hard to be edgy. This game is so fucking fun, and not for the right reasons. Like,
I am everyone, everywhere.
At the end of the day, it's a third-person shooter mixed with a Sonic game. Is it the best Sonic game you could play? Absolutely the fuck not. But is it one of the most fun just in the terms of how insane shit can be in it? Oh, abso-fucking-lutely.
This game should not work, but it does.
And if I remember right, there are 32 endings. Because every level has 2 to 3 branching paths for hero, evil, or neutral. I don't think there's been a single other game in the Sonic franchise that has branching paths that determine how the story ends. Like, it is so fucking good. Put your holy righteousness aside about, oh, this is edgy, I could never fall for something like this to be fun. It's fun. Just give it a shot and you will enjoy it.
Listen, there are a few things out there that make that there's a reason why you find most edgelord shit to cringe. It's because you know that out there are true things that are edgelordy and cool. This is one of those things.
I can't find that damn 4th Chaos Emerald.
God fucking damn it.
Oh my god. All right. Next. Shrek Super Party.
I never played Shrek Super Party.
I'm putting it at bold and brash, more like belongs to the trash. A friend had it. It's an awful party game.
There was do you remember that educational console game? Like literally, there was this game by like there was this console by Leapfrog. Remember that? Remember Leapfrog?
Yeah, I remember Leapfrog. Leapfrog was the shit.
And it had that fucking square, but the edges were rounded console in it. And it had like a controller that was like constantly stuck into it, and you would have different like Leapfrog brand educational games.
I remember what you're talking about, but my parents never bought one for me.
I had one, and I would play the fuck out of the Shrek version of that on the Leapfrog. Oh, next video, Leapfrog tier list. We gotta go through it.
God damn, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Leapfrog was my fucking childhood, bro. I had Leapfrog Alphabet Factory on DVD, and I would watch that shit every day of the week.
Every letter makes a sound. The D goes...
All right, we got the Sonic Gems collection. So
let me go to hold on. Let me look it up so I can see. So I can look. At the
so this one, and the next one we'll get to, which I'll just say it now. Sonic Mega Collection sound similar but are different.
Yeah, I played this.
Okay. So, I've played all the games that are included in it, so I guess I've technically played it. I would put this at the bottom of solid games, would recommend. Because at the end of the day, it is Sonic, but this doesn't really have the classics. You do get Sonic CD, which was the main selling point of this game. But then you get the other games that no one really cared about, like Spinball, 3D Blast. But...
I liked 3D Blast.
I was about to say, those games aren't necessarily bad. It's just that no one ever really talks about them. That's why I want to put them at the bottom of solid games. Would recommend. The only lower I could accept is the top of Not For Everyone, just because, again, you're not really getting the classics. But let's just go to Sonic Mega Collection now. You should play these now.
Jake, I'm going to be honest. I owned Sonic Mega Collection on the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube.
Oh, you bought it twice?
So what happened was we moved and we had it on the GameCube.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dad, I think my Sonic game got lost in the move. And he's like, ah, damn. And so he bought me the Sonic Mega Collection Plus on the PlayStation 2.
Ooh.
And then I found the old Sonic Mega Collection in a box in the attic somewhere, because I guess somebody just put it in there, and then it just wasn't in the same box with any of the other DVDs or games. So for a while I was just sitting there with 2 Sonic Mega Collections. Anyway, we played the shit out of these games.
Yeah, so Mega Collections Plus, that was essentially just Mega Collections with the games in Sonic Gems, wasn't it?
It literally was. Literally, there was a tab that said Sonic Gems.
Okay, cool. All right. I say you should play these now. Where do we want to put it? Where do we want to put it?
Upper echelon, because if you play Sonic Mega Collection, you're gonna get a great overview about what the Sonic games are.
We'll put it right below Metroid Prime. I feel like that's a pretty decent ranking for it.
Can I say something controversial?
Huh.
Sonic Mania should have been what Sonic Mega Collection Plus was.
I slightly disagree. I do like it being its own story. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, we're going back through these eras, but then we also have new levels, and the ending, if you get the true ending, spoiler alert, does tie into Sonic Forces. Which is such a weird fucking thing to include, but yeah. Go play Sonic Mega Collection.
Yes, Sonic Forces. I love it when my soundtrack comes with a video game.
True. Legit, you're just holding the boost button the whole game.
Together we show the world what we can do.
All right. Let's talk about a good 3D Sonic game. Let's talk about Sonic Heroes.
Sonic Heroes, Sonic Heroes.
I think this is just gonna show my bias towards Sonic franchise, but yeah, greatest of all time.
Fucking Metal Sonic posing at the beginning and reaching and stuff. I'm just like, whoa!
I'm gonna put it right below Shadow the Hedgehog just because I like having Shadow the Hedgehog at the top for the meme.
And they all have their each individual teams with all their each individual stories for where to go pick the shit out of Eggman.
I know. Okay, Caleb, which team did you go with the most? Which was your team?
Which team did I go with I'm going to be honest. I was kind of a team slut. I always bounced between all of them. Tristan always picked the Shadow of the Hedgehog one.
So, the one that I liked the most was Team Chaotix.
Mm-hmm.
But...
You with the fucking alligator?
I wanted the fucking alligator. I wanted Vector. But, that being said, I did play through all of them.
Vector be like, I'm not really interested in kicking Eggman's ass. There's money for it.
As soon as there was money, but I never got to play the true ending. Did you ever get the true ending for Sonic Heroes?
Remind me what the true ending was.
So obviously you collect all the Chaos Emeralds in every story, 100% the entire game. And then you basically fight Metal Sonic that has turned into God.
Yes. So I didn't do that. I didn't do that by myself. Tristan and I did that together.
Together we can show the world what we can do.
And then we couldn't do it, so we asked our dad to beat Metal Sonic. Dad, I can't beat this guy.
Oh my god. Oh, hell yeah. Sonic Heroes, though, such a based game. Yeah. Again, re-release it to modern consoles, and I will buy it so fucking fast. All right, Sonic Riders.
So, I think Sonic Riders is a solid game.
Yeah, I'll put it right above Sonic Gems Collection. So, like I said earlier, whenever I got a GameCube before the accident, I had Sonic Riders, and it came bundled with the game. One of my favorite games for the Wii was Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, and I had never played the one that came before it, so I'm like, oh, let's see what this is. Zero Gravity, in my opinion, is better, but Sonic Riders is definitely still a solid game, and I really wish Sonic Free Riders wasn't a thing, so that way maybe, just maybe, we'd still be getting new Sonic Riders games with every new generation of consoles.
What happened with Free Riders?
So that was the one for the Kinect. I should only have to say the one for the Kinect, and everyone would realize how bad the Kinect was, and be like, yeah! It was janky as hell, barely playable. There was no story mode like there was in the first two games. God, fuck you, Xbox Kinect, for ruining franchises.
They tried. tried, I guess.
I mean, they definitely tried. Like, if you used it just for dancing games, solid. I would highly recommend the Kinect for dancing games because guess what? Unlike just dance where it's like, oh, let me just track and make sure the motion of the controller is doing the right thing. This is like, let me look at your whole fucking body and see if you're actually doing the Michael Jackson lean.
the Kinect judging my dance moves like.
True. All right. Next, Star Fox Adventures.
Never played it.
I'm gonna put it at bottom of not for everyone. I've never played it, but I watched somebody play through it, and it does not look fun. But I'm pretty sure this game appeals to at least a couple people. Third-person shooter enjoyers, Star Fox enjoyers, and furries. If you fall into any of those groups, you might enjoy them.
Right to the garbage.
All right, Super Mario Strikers.
I played it. I didn't own this one. It was okay.
Yeah,
it was okay.
I'll put it, I guess, right above Sonic Riders and solid games. This was also a game that a friend had. I never owned it myself, but just like pretty much any sports game, it's
the intensity of the gameplay does not match the box art.
Which the box art does look pretty intense already, but it's even worse. You got Waluigi crotch chopping in the game. I mean, that's always fun. Anyway, Super Mario Sunshine.
Jake.
I'm saying greatest of all time.
There you go.
There we go. This is my favorite 3D Mario game to ever release. Once again, we'll put it right above XD Gale of Darkness. I love how I'm putting games above the one that I personally ranked by myself by using that power. But at the same time, these are better games. Mario Sunshine is my favorite 3D Mario game of all time. No questions asked. The other ones, aside from 64, are still really fucking good. But nothing is going to top Mario Sunshine ever in my lifetime.
Too bad they're not gonna remaster it.
I mean, they released it in the Sonic 3D All-Stars collection. That's all I needed. That's legit all I needed.
Wait for Super Mario Sunshine 2.
I honestly don't want them to make a second one. I feel
sure?
like there's enough to do in the first game, and the story is fun enough to where you could just replay it endlessly, and it's still fun. Yeah, I said it. This is a game you can play multiple times in the span of like a year and still never get bored of it. Which is why I'm going to be streaming Mario Sunshine until I get bored.
Oh my god!
I'm kidding. All right, Super Monkey Ball.
I loved Super Monkey Ball.
I didn't play the first one, but I did play the second one, which we'll get to next. So where would you rank Super Monkey Ball?
Solid game. That's it.
We'll put it above Mario Party 7, because I was going to say Super Monkey Ball 2, also solid game. I couldn't imagine they're both very different from each other.
Not really, no.
I'll put 2 above 1, though.
They have great fucking t-shirts. That game.
Great t-shirts. No, like, the single-player gameplay is fun. The party games I know they had in 2 are definitely where it's at if you're playing with friends. But, again, this is a game that you could pop in, like, once a month. Be like, oh, man, I haven't played Monkey Ball in a while. Play through the levels. Be good.
Leave me alone, Mom. I'm playing with monkey balls.
Yeah! All right, next up. And this is going to be one that might land me in some hot water. Super Smash Bros. Melee.
I'm going to be on. I like that game very much. I guess fine. It's just so slow. It's just so slow.
You're thinking of Brawl.
No, Melee's slow too.
No, Melee is the one where people legit break their hands just to play it because of how fast-paced it is.
I can't.
Okay, let me put it like this. If you play it the way that they intended you to make it, it's not slow, but it's pretty normal paced. If you play it the way the professionals play it, that make everybody that watches them play it wonder, one, how do you do that with your hands? And two, how do you not want to kill yourself yet? Those are the people that make it fast. I'm going to put it at the bottom of solid games would recommend.
Yeah.
So, hear me out. Smash Bros. Melee is behind Brawl, and Brawl is behind Ultimate.
It's just there's so many There's only like what, 6, 8 characters in Melee?
Okay, now you're thinking of the first one.
Oh, yeah.
There's just shy of 20 in Melee.
Okay, I remember.
That being said, the single player offering in Melee. Sure, you have classic mode and you have what they tried to write off as a story mode. That culminated in fighting Giga Bowser. That's about it. The gameplay, if you play against anybody that tries to play competitively, you will never want to play again. I know because I have played against people that try to play Melee competitively, and it loses all of its fun and charm after that point. Because it's like, oh, well, you can wave dash, you can Z cancel, you can do this. I don't care about all these mechanics that weren't even intended to be played in the game, that people exploited bugs. I just want to play the game. Whereas with Brawl, yes, you have random tripping, and yes, it is a lot slower than Melee, but single player offering is great. More fighters to choose from, and whenever it was...
Get out of my IQ!
Yeah, and whenever it was the competitive game, there weren't people exploiting a bunch of bugs, because guess what? Those bugs were more fine-tuned from what Melee was. Again, this is what's going to land me in hot water. You're going to have... If there's any Smash fans that are watching, they're going to go straight to the comments like, it sounds like you just suck at Smash Bros, which I do, but at least I can suck at a game like Brawl or Ultimate and not feel bad about it. It's just because I'm genuinely not as good as the other player. Whereas with Melee, it's, I feel like, you know, not giving myself carpal tunnel. What do you think about it?
So... Melee was actually the one I got introduced to last. Yeah. Melee is one of those games where it's just like, this is cool. I could just be playing Ultimate though and have more fun. So that's just where I'm at. I'm just like, why would I play this? Ultimate exists.
And again, you're gonna have the sweaty Melee fans. Well, Melee is the best game because it doesn't have too many characters, and you have this mechanic that's not even a mechanic; it's a bug exploit.
I'm like, yeah, but I could just do that in Ultimate.
They don't got Banjo-Kazooie in Ultimate, or in Melee, do they?
Nope, they do not.
They don't got Bowser Jr.
They don't got Solid Snake.
So yeah, Melee is not a bad game, but it's just fine. All right, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Never played it.
Shit, I wish someone did.
Nintendo says that too. I wish somebody played Wind Waker.
I mean, I'm pretty sure people have played Wind Waker. I think they HD remade it twice. It's a pretty...
And nobody played those ones either.
I meant more between the two of us, because, like, it's a fan favorite among true Zelda fans, whereas I am the casual Zelda fan.
I'm not even a casual Zelda fan. All I know is that the green guy is Link.
Yeah. All right, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
Never played it.
So... I'm going to include this one again on the Wii. I never played it on the GameCube, but it was on the Wii. And that's where me and my brother played it, was the Wii. So whenever we go to the Wii, I'll get more in depth with it. Mario Golf Toadstool Tour.
I never played Mario Golf.
I'm putting it right above the Mario Party games. You should play this now. Toadstool Tour, to this day, is the single greatest Mario Golf game that has ever released. It's fun, and that's all I can really say about it, because I haven't played it in a while and I don't remember it, but I remember it being really fun, and then other people comparing it to the modern Mario Golf games, and they're like, yeah, this is better. Modern games aren't as good as this one. I don't know though. All right, Wario World.
I love Wario.
I never played it.
That's a solid game.
Where do you want to put it?
Yeah. Solid.
Yeah, but where in solid?
I can't see.
Just say upper, middle, or bottom.
I said middle. I said middle.
I didn't hear you. Your mic cuts out, you fuck.
Ah!
All right, this one. Which I only got the box art for. I've never played it. I got the box art for it because it's a Yu-Gi-Oh game. I can't tell what the full title is because it's kind of small. But it's a Yu-Gi-Oh game on the GameCube. You ever play it?
Please check my buck. Check. Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. Cube game. Was it... Oh, wait. Was it the Falsebound Kingdom?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah. Okay, so I never played it.
Okay. All right, the last one. Luigi's Mansion.
I love Luigi's Mansion.
I have very fond memories of playing the first Luigi's Mansion game.
Yeah.
Very, very fond memories. This is another game that I really miss playing.
Yeah, it's too bad they'll never reboot those ones.
I mean, I think they remade Dark Moon, which is the second one. They remade the first one for 3DS, but...
And then, yeah, a lot of good 3DS does nowadays.
Yeah. I want to say this one's right below XD Gale of Darkness and Greatest of All Time.
You know, if the 3DS is no longer supported by current online platforms, doesn't that technically make it a retro game?
If that's the standard we're holding it to, then I am too old for this world. I need to shrivel away and die.
I mean, the DS is squarely a retro game console now.
Yeah, it's 21 years old. We established that in the last episode. If you want to know why we talked about it, go check out the last episode on our YouTube channel, Those Nerds on a Podcast. Anyway, yeah, I'm putting Luigi's Mansion at the middle of Greatest of All Time.
Yep.
It is solid. All right, so as we always do with tier lists, we're going to go from the bottom tier to the top tier. Starting with haven't played / seen. We haven't played Day of Reckoning 2, F-Zero GX, Mario Baseball, Metroid Prime 2, Pikmin 2, Rayman 3, Zelda Wind Waker, Twilight Princess on the technicality that I played it on a different console, and the Falsebound Kingdom, Yu-Gi-Oh! Next tier. Bold and brash. More like belongs in the trash. The worst game we've determined on the GameCube, from the games that I put on this list, of course, is Pokemon Channel. And just above that is Shrek Super Party. Yippee! Yippee! Next, and not for everyone, Star Fox Adventures, and then Medal of Honor just above that. That really speaks to how good the GameCube's library is, that there are 4 games that we put below solid. That we have played, of course.
Uh-huh.
All right. From solid games, would recommend bottom to top, we've got Smash Bros. Melee.
Yep.
Sonic Gems Collection.
Uh-huh.
Sonic Riders.
Yep.
Super Mario Strikers.
Yep.
Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door.
Yep.
Pac-Man Versus.
Yeah.
Which some people seeing Pac-Man Versus over Smash Brothers Melee, their brains might actually fucking explode, but you know.
Just that fucking cat with the
Wario World.
Yeah.
Mario Party 7.
Yeah.
Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah.
Super Monkey Ball 2.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
And at the top of solid games, would recommend Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Next, second to top tier. You should play these now. From bottom to top, we've got Mario Power Tennis.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Mario Party 4.
Yes.
We got Mario Party 5.
Yes.
Got Mario Golf Toadstool Tour.
Yes.
WWE Day of Reckoning.
Yes.
Sonic Mega Collection.
Yes.
Metroid Prime.
Yes.
Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
And at the top of the tier, we've got Pokemon Coliseum.
Yeah.
And then finally, the greatest of all time, the games that you need to play if you have a GameCube. And if the games aren't $100 a piece. From the bottom, we got Mario Party 6.
Yeah.
We got Harvest Moon Magical... what was it? I can't read the title.
Melody.
Magical Melody.
Uh-huh.
We've got Pac-Man World 2. Yeah. We got Mario Kart Double Dash.
Yeah.
We've got Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
We got Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
Yeah.
We got Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
We've got Sonic Heroes.
Yeah.
And then the greatest GameCube game. The greatest GameCube game of all time, according to that one nerd Jacob and that one Scout Collins of those nerds on a podcast. Shadow the fucking Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Oh my god. People are gonna be
You put Shadow the Hedgehog at the very top and put Melee at the very bottom of playable?
I was about to say, people are gonna be so fucking pissed that we put Shadow the fucking Hedgehog above Super Smash Brothers Melee.
He is all of him.
He is him, yeah. Oh my god. What is that list? Well, anyway, Caleb, do you got anything to say before we round everything out here for the night?
Well, I just would like to say that, children are kind of like couches. If your neighbor leaves them on the sidewalk, you can just take them.
I don't think that's how it works.
Ah, shit.
Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Those Nerds on a Podcast. Don't flame us in the comments too hard. We know it's bound to happen eventually, but just don't make it too harsh. If you want to make this tier list, link to this tier list below, so that way you can either tag myself, Caleb, or at Those Nerds Pod on Twitter. So that way you can tell us how shit our takes are compared to yours. We're not gonna give a fuck though. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and y'all have a good one.